Hey everyone, it's Suki here and welcome to the Fashion Notebook. Let me tell you guys, my best tips are at the end of the video, so make sure you watch till the end of the video to get a full guidance on how to get those A's and A stars in your exam. Number 1, always remember to plan your revision ahead and do them in small chunks. This is my biggest advice I can give to you. Don't cram all of your revision in one day and just keep doing it for like 4 hours. That is not gonna work. Take breaks. So for example, time yourself for 25 minutes, full attention revision, and then take a 15-minute break, and then 25-minute, and then 15-minute break. That is similar to the Pomodoro revision technique. I'm gonna put the name on it on here right now. I kind of forgot what it's called, but it's quite a famous revision technique that you could look into. Second, you have to take good notes. In order to make your revision effective, you have to have a good source of foundation base for you to look upon. So in order to take good notes, one of my way of taking note is that I put all my subject into one Google Doc instead of opening a new document for each lesson I get. In that way you can just look over it like a book when you revise, and everything is just in one page and you can just scroll down instead of opening like 20 different little tabs of your notes in each and every single lectures or lesson you have. And when you're taking notes the next lesson, and you can look over your notes from your last lesson just scrolling up, and you know, oh, I don't want to repeat taking this note, so I don't have to take this note. This is a really effective way of taking notes, and it just reads like a book, as I said. It's just really easier for your brain to digest all the notes. Number 3, this links to taking good notes, is having a good foundation for your revision. One of my tips is to record your lessons or lectures by yourself. Some lectures are not recorded, and if your lectures are recorded, you are lucky. Just take advantage of that. Really take advantage of that. And if your lessons are recorded, you always have a phone with you where you can record it by yourself. If you're in high school, secondary school, and your biggest struggle is math or something, just sneakily record your whole lesson on your phone. And when you go back, you can listen to it again and again until you understand it. This is a really good way to really digest what your teacher told me, because sometimes our brain just doesn't get it instantly, but when we listen to it like 2 or 3 more times, we just kind of work it out ourselves. Just make sure you don't share it everywhere, because it might be a bit legal to record someone else's voice and information without them knowing. It's just kind of awkward to ask your teacher, oh hi, can I record your lectures or something? Just do it discreetly and just try not to share it with everyone. 4, I'm pretty sure you've heard of this tip everywhere. Past paper. They are literally your best friend for revision, because you are literally going to take the identical exam paper in your exam. So why don't you give your brain a bit of familiarization of what you're gonna encounter in few weeks, few months time. If you're watching this and you have like exams in a month's time, that means you're in a last minute revision situation. That is when past paper is really your best friend. Use your past paper as your revision guide. Just do tons and tons of past paper you can ever do and just kind of memorize the answer. That is not the best way you could revise, because that doesn't give you the wholesome knowledge that you need to know, but it just kind of gives you what you will be tested on in the exam, which isn't ideal. But if you are encountering a last minute revision situation, past paper is really what you need to go for. Number 5, teaching your friends. There's some scientific research that shows that teaching people is way better for you to learn than just reading over a textbook and highlighting. Find a friend that is kind of interested in your topic. I don't even care if your friend is listening or not. The way that you learn is through verbally explaining to someone else your topic of study. And that way you kind of simplify everything for yourself too. So when you teach them, that shows you fully understand this subject. That is how you are able to teach and transfer your knowledge to someone else. But one of the best way of revision, this works more when you're nearly done with revision and you're pretty confident with everything, and you can kind of recite everything through your brain, through memorization. Find a friend, sit with them for like an hour or so and just kind of talk to them about your subject, teach them what you're learning, and you can learn for yourself and you can also transfer your knowledge to someone else. So that's a win-win. 6, flashcards. Flashcards are so good for any subject, to be honest. For languages, you can use flashcard for the word and the definition. You can use flashcard for everything. This is a good way to consolidate all your notes into tiny bits and pieces, and you can bring it everywhere with you. When you're commuting back home, you can just pop your flashcard out and just read through your notes in tiny segments. It's easier for your brain to remember. Another bonus tip is that buy flashcards in color and separate the flashcard in color according to your subject. So I don't know, biology can be green, and then chemistry can be red, and then English can be yellow, and then you remember through your brain, oh, what is the yellow card that I was reading, so it's a lot easier for your brain to remember. Quizlet is also a great tool for flashcard. It's very eco-friendly. You don't actually have to use paper, you just do it digitally, and you can do as many as you want without spending any money. Here we go. This is my best ever revision technique that I've ever done, and this really changed my life forever. I got this idea from Anjada J because if you study, I'm pretty sure you just watch her channel, and I watched one of her video and this technique really works for me. So blurting is basically you find a subtopic of your topics. This is my example of blurting. I'm not sure if you can see, but this is what I studied for my exam last semester. What I put in the middle is the sociological imagination, and then I basically put subtopics. So things society should not be, things sociology should be, history plus biography, social structure plus biography, and I just write down everything I know about these things and just write it down. And you see there are like corrections with the blue pen, and there's some text with the blue pen. This just shows what I need to improve on. So after I wrote down everything I know with a black pen, I get another color, use that to add corrections. So I read through my note and add things that I left out when I was blurting with my black pen. The blue pen is the things that I kind of forgot to add, which would be essential for me to remember. So I just do this until I get everything correct and there's no blue pen that is needed to add correction. That is when I know I'm prepped for the exam. So do this like 2 to 3 times until you don't need to do any more correction for what you remember, and you're not missing anything out from your notes or information. The last tip is also super helpful for me. Like, this actually changed the way of me revising, and it just saved me so much time. Is record yourself explaining the topic and just listen to it whenever you are. For me, I recorded every single subtopics of sociology. So consumerism, sociology and common sense, the sociological imagination, everything that I need, I will be tested on as a recording in my iPhone. I just recorded myself reading through my notes, explaining it to myself, kind of like teaching your friends, but with your notes. You can read through your notes, make sure everything is accurate, because that is the source you're gonna learn from and you're gonna listen to when you're commuting, when you're working out. Use that as your music basically, and just drill it in your head 24/7. Listen to it when you're brushing your teeth, before you sleep. It's just listening. It's like listening to a podcast that is made for yourself. This is such a good way of revision, and I can't even think of a better way. This really helped me to just, instead of sitting down and writing and highlighting notes, I was doing something more active. I was going to the gym, but I was listening to my own podcast, which is such a helpful thing. That's it with my 8 tips that I have learned from my IGCSE A-level and university exams. These are all things that have helped me to get all my straight A's in my studies, and I wish you the best of luck for your upcoming exam. You smash it. If you use any of my tips, please comment down if it's useful for you or not, because everyone is different, and some tips that you see might be useful for you and some tips might not be. One more thing I want to add is really up to you at the end of the day. Like, no matter how many videos and tips you watch on YouTube, it's not going to help you unless you're actually dedicated to work hard, because hard work really beats talent, let me tell you that. So just remember that and start working and stop watching YouTube videos. I guess that's a wrap, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!